Hey, welcome to episode 113 of Fresh Air at 5. This week we got a whole lot more ChatGPT and AI and education. Well, I guess it's not going away, so we might as well keep talking about it, keep listening about it, learning about it. So it is coming along. Listen to some great conversations. We have some leadership stuff and talking about celebrating wins. All right, without further ado, here's Fresh Air at 5. Episode 113. Let's go!
I'm Angela Kelly Robeck, host of the Empowered Principal Podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Welcome to Fresh Air at 5, the podcast. I'm your host, Brian Carpenter. Fresh Air at 5 is my regular attempt to exercise by walking about my neighborhood to take in podcast content, then reflect in an unedited video, which I finally post to my Twitter channel. This podcast will be a regular collection of the audio from these selfie videos. You can follow me on Twitter at FreshAirAt5 or check out my website, briancarpenter.com, for other content I have created and collected.
Hey, PLN, happy Pi Day, March 14th. 2023. Yes, for dinner tonight we are going to eat pie. Meat pie, we're going to eat strawberry rhubarb pie, and I don't know, talk about pie? Maybe not. But yeah, that's the math geek in me loving it. So it's Pi Day, and happy Pi Day to you. All right, today I'm out later. It's spring break, and I'm still getting over being not well. So that's a real crumb. Woke up with a bad cough this morning, and I'm improving, but I had to push myself to get out the door just now. It's in the afternoon, and I listened to episode 48 of Evolving with Gratitude with Lainey Rowell, and she has on guest Zach Bauermeister. And Zach is the author of a book, Leading with a Humble Heart, I think. And it's a 40-day devotional. I bought it, Zach. I haven't started reading it yet, but I need to get going on reading your book. I think I'll do that starting tomorrow morning. So, yes, that's, he talked with Lainey about gratitude, and he said that gratitude has to do with the overflow of a humble heart. And the word humble's primary and important there, as we look at, not being the overflow of a prideful heart. No, that doesn't happen. It has to do with a humble heart. And a prideful heart will not overflow too much in a positive direction, I don't think. It won't take care of the people around you. Zach has an acronym of the word people that has some meaning in there. So take a listen to this episode, and as Lenny and Zach talk about faith and their desire to see gratitude expressed with people around them. And so relationship is key. Zach, thank you so much again for sharing. A brother in Christ, yes, I am. And we make a difference in people's lives because of the difference that he made in our lives. All right, that's all I got. Have a fabulous day. We will talk to you soon. Okay, bye. One more thing for March 14, 2023. As I'm walking, I listened to episode 118 of the Ignite EdTech podcast, and shout out to Craig Kemp, the host of that podcast. And Craig, thanks for reaching out the other day and going, hey, have you listened lately? And well, I'm listening now. So here we go. Take a listen to the Ignite EdTech podcast with Craig Kemp. And on episode 118, he talks about some things. He talks about bit.ai, which is a AI tool that can help us coordinate and curate our digital content to have it all accessible in one place. I'm curious about this and seeing how that works. And, is it able to take Microsoft Documents and Google Docs and videos and audio and all these things? So that's something I want to look at and see if it does that, Craig. You also talked about Media Mentor Month, which is an opportunity to talk about digital citizenship and digital literacy with families. So that's what you talked about there. And then your guest on today's episode that I listened to, sorry, was William Tucker, who is the founder of CharityUnited.us, and has, as William talked about doing emergency relief in slum areas around the world, different super low income areas. He talked about going in with emergency relief and then listening to the people and listening to what they need, as opposed to bringing what we think they need. And they said that they want to have an education. And so he's provided curriculum for a number of places, and is working on comprehension as a strategy for education, as opposed to, doing things the way, that we've been taught to do things before comprehension. So, the words matter, but it's understanding and making sure that people and students understand what they're learning about, as opposed to just learning words and alphabet and things like that. Thanks so much. It was great to hear. So go check out Charity United, as that's a place that William Tucker is doing some work around the world. Thanks, Craig. Take care. Bye. Hey, PLN, Wednesday, March 15th, 2023, coming to you from Abbotsford, and I'm outside right now, and this is as fresh as the air is getting for me today, as I'm still not feeling great, and I had to go to the doctor this morning to go get some help, so I've got some antibiotics coming my way, so hopefully I'll be feeling better soon. This morning I listened to episode 99 of the Tom Schimmer podcast, and Tom, thanks for your episode. I looked at the title and I'm like, ChatGPT and in education, and then ChatGPT in assessment corner, and talking about how we can use it for assessment. You talk with guest Jessica Vance. So off the top, talking about ChatGPT, the advantages and disadvantages, you gave 5 of each, and it was very interesting to hear what you had to say. So Tom, I know what you had to say, and your voice, it was a different voice a little bit. You'll have to listen and go find out why I'm saying this. But then at the end, as you talked about ChatGPT and 10 ways to use ChatGPT in assessment. My big question, Tom, is if I'm going to be using this in assessment, how do I get my students' work into ChatGPT other than just through a text interface? Is there a way that I can, do they have a different interface for providing input that they can use to assess student work and even my work, as that is it? Okay, so your guest, you talked with Jessica Vance, who is the author of Leading Through a Lens of Inquiry. I believe that's what it's called. And you guys talked about inquiry and asking questions and just the ways of processing responses from students and how students can, drive their learning. My concern that I have, and we were talking about this in my math and science department recently, is, without the foundational structure of knowledge and information, how can we do inquiry well? How can someone that doesn't have a very good background in something do inquiry? I'm talking specifically at the high school level. Those are my thoughts. Tom, thanks so much. Congratulations on episode 99. I'm looking forward to episode 200 soon. And thank you, Jessica. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, PLN, it's March 16, 2023, St. Patrick's Day Eve, coming to you here from Abbotsford. It's a beautiful day, blue sky, and I'm out for my walk later in the day, and haven't walked very far, but I'm, getting some fresh air. I'm feeling a little bit better, so that's really important. All right, this afternoon, I listened to episode 124 of the ChatGPT show, as ChatGPT bring us their thoughts about ChatGPT. Back at the beginning of the new year, they said, we're going to bring you an episode, but we're not talking about it right now. We need some time to think about it, see what we can do with it, and see what it can do for us. And in this episode, ChatGPT, they bring us some ideas and ways that they have explored using it and done some writing with it. Writing rubrics, for example, lesson plans, blog ideas for students in middle school, things like that, as a way to prompt creativity. So that's good to hear, and I'm looking into it still more myself. The only challenge that I'm having is that the server's unavailable when I want to use it. So I don't know if that's because I got to jump on and pay my $20 a month. That's a bit steep, but maybe if it saves me that much time and effort out of my own personal teacher pocket, that would be something that I should do. So is that $20 worth it to you? Some things I pay for and other things I don't. All right, what else is going on? Well, they don't want to be positioning themselves as experts about ChatGPT, but talking about their position, their place that they have used it. And they also said that, can anyone actually be an expert at this point about ChatGPT? Have you used it sufficiently with students in a classroom to know that they are all cheating with it? That's a fear that we have. The students are going to use it to do their writing. So some students have admitted that, and that's a thing that, they got to deal with. Teachers have to deal with. All right, be you. Take care. Get outside. Get some fresh air. Peace out. Nice to see you, Shan Pav. Hear your voices. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, PLN, Friday, March 17, 2023. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, and I hope you are wearing green today, otherwise you're going to get pinched. I don't know why that is, but it's from my elementary days in school, and that was the thing that we did. So anyhow, we're gonna have a St. Patrick's Day party tonight and celebrate things green and eat green snacks and things like that. So yes, all right, happy St. Patrick's Day. All right, this morning, Chris, Nessie, I listened to your podcast episode 220, and it's a privilege to be connected with you. I listened to an episode where you talked with Lena Marie Saleh, who is an ed tech guru, and she's been involved with, connecting and networking. And you two talked about the impact of social media in education. And as far as being able to connect with people, the different platforms allow us educators to connect beyond where we are sitting right this very moment. This right here, this podcast, Fresh Air at 5, is a prime example of how connecting beyond yourself is something that you can do. One day I started hashtag Fresh Air at 5, and it evolved into at Fresh Air at 5 on Twitter, and then that evolved into Chris Nessie calling me out, and we connected. And just like Christy Thompson, who is Chris mentioned in this episode, as the VIP is starting a new podcast, that's exactly what Chris did with me. And he says, Carpenter, you can do this. So hey, if you reach out to the people that are podcasting and putting content out there, like Lena Marie Saleh and others, it's crazy how we can, grow our network beyond ourselves. I could probably go to a conference today and connect with people from around North America and around the world, just because of my connection here on Twitter. All right, that's all I got. Thanks so much. There's a whole lot more good stuff. Take a listen. Bye. One more thing for March 17, 2023. As I'm listening this morning and walking, I'm looking up and I see the sliver of what's going to be a new moon over Mount Baker. It's absolutely beautiful. The sun is rising, as you can see behind me, and it's just spectacular to be out here in the crisp air this morning, and I'm so thankful for that. On the thoughts of that and thinking about the goodness and being grateful and gratitude here, I'm listening to Teaching Champions and by Brian Martin. And Brian, you bring us episode 169, Celebrate the Wins, and how we gotta be mindful about the little things that go on in our days, as opposed to the grand things that happen, at the end of the year with graduation. How can you have your students have a perspective of looking at their accomplishments and the little things that they are doing? My son, he's in his third year electrical apprenticeship right now, and he started school on Monday, and he hadn't looked at school, his classroom work at all since, about a year ago. No, about 9 months ago. And he got back to it and he was like freaking out and having a hard time. And well, I had to calm him down, and my wife and I talked to him and encouraged him. But, today is day 5 for him, and he's going to school confident that he can get back at it, and it comes back. And he has study habits and the little things. Son has some learning disability issues with ADHD and focus, and he's working through strategies to be able to be successful. And I'm so proud of my son, and it's those little wins every day. All right, so thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. It's important, everybody, that we remember the little wins. What's a little win for you today? Well, a little win for me today is that I got up this morning and I got out the door. I've been feeling crummy, but I pushed myself to get out the door, and I'm so thankful that I did for my walk. It's important that we take time to rest, obviously, when we're not feeling well, but also to keep pushing, keep doing things, and growing your mind. All right, that's all I got. Happy Friday. Talk to you guys. Okay, bye-bye.
As my one word for 2021 is appreciate, I appreciate you giving me a listen as I've created this podcast experience for you. It's a unique Blinkist or Coles Notes version of the content I take in, like a highlight reel, so that you can hopefully find other interesting podcasts you may not have considered before. I've recorded the specific podcast episodes in the show notes for your learning convenience. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. And if you enjoy this podcast and its format, share it with someone else. Tweet about your experience or give it a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. Fresh Air at 5 can also be found on Voice Ed Radio. Your voice is right here, and on the Education Podcast Network, Podcasts for Educators, Podcasts by Educators. I hope you have a fantastic day and get some fresh air before the day is out, and take care of yourself because you're worth it.